Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone that made tonight possible, and thank you all for coming out. I'm going to read one poem. It's called Revision. It begins with a line from a Ghassan Kanafani letter to his son, Fayez. Kanafani writes, I heard you in the other room asking your mother, Mama, am I a Palestinian? When she answered yes, a heavy silence fell on the whole house. It was as if something hanging over our heads had fallen, its noise exploding, then silence. I don't mean to hate the sparrows. I don't mean to close my eyes and see fire, a flood of concrete leaflets the size of grotesque snow. I don't mean to rehearse evacuation that is not mine to rehearse. From the grocery store to the house, from the house to the river, from the river to the airport, here are the rules. There is a road, and it's gone now. There is a sea, and you cannot drink its water. How far can you carry a toddler, a middle-aged dog? How far can you go in 65 seconds, 12 seconds, 4, 3, 2? If you have a favorite flower, now is the time to redact it. If you have a mother, now is the time to move her to the basement if you don't have a basement. I don't mean to profit from this poem, but I do. I don't mean to say I, but I do. Here are the rules. The rules are redacted. Redacted is redacted. Redacted is a red herring. Redacted is a billboard with 92,583 names. Here are the rules. I had a grandmother once. She had a memory once. It spoiled like milk. On the phone, she'd ask me about my son, if he was fussy, if he was eating solids, yet she'd ask if he was living up to his name. I said yes. I always said yes. I asked for his name and it was redacted. I dreamt of her saying, redacted, redacted, redacted. How deep in the earth can you burrow with your 4 hearts? Here are the rules. There is no bomb shelter. There is no ship. You can leave. Why aren't you leaving? You can resist. Why aren't you resisting? On the phone, my grandmother would call me her heart, her soul, her 2 God-given eyes. She'd ask if I wanted to visit Palestine again. I never brought her back any soil, but there was a story she liked, so I would tell it again and again about the man I met at the bus station, a stranger until he spoke Arabic, calling me sister and daughter and sister, and I told her how he skipped work and drove me past the gardens to the highest point, and we waved to Beirut. I waved to her, and later she said she was waving back. Never mind her balcony faced the wrong direction. Never mind the sea, a terrible blue. Never mind there never was a sun. Here are the rules. If you say redacted, you must say redacted. If they give you a microphone, do not sing into it. If they give you a camera, do not look it in the eye. Here are the rules. You cannot redact a name once it has been spoken. So if you say Gaza, you must say Gaza. If you look, you must look until there is no looking left to do. Here are the rules. Here's my mother-given name. Here's my small life. It is no more than any other. Here's my grandmother dead for 5 years. She's speaking again. She calls when I'm not expecting. Kif ibnik, she says. Wayno, where is he now? Let me say hello. What could I say back? What would you say back? He's good, I tell her, he's good. I pretend to call a child from the other room. I pretend to hear the sea from over here. I wave back. Here are the rules. We bear what we bear until we can't anymore. We invent what we can't stand grieving. The sun sets on Gaza. The sun rises on Gaza. On your redaction, on your blue pencils, on your God-given eyes. He's good, I tell her. He's good. He's crawling. Mashallah, mashallah, together. We praise the sea and the sun together. We praise how much he's grown. Thank you.